What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of DMac Pods. This is our second episode, and I'm joined here by my friend Korey. Korey is currently a rookie in Iron Spikes, which is the men's org that I'm a part of, and I'm happy to have him here.
Yeah,
He's done a lot of interesting things, so we're going to be diving into some of that. But we're going to begin with the Swiss Alps. So tell me about backpacking in the Swiss Alps.
We did 10 days, landed in Geneva, and we started off just chilling out the first day, and then the second day was we hiked, I think, 10 miles for 4 or 5 hours, 3,000 feet of elevation gain, got in, got a beer, got some pretzels, went to bed, and then basically just did that over and over, varying from 11 to 13 miles, 4 or 5 hours every day.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And so, how long were y'all like planning this trip for? Was this like a spontaneous? Were y'all like, let's go backpacking in the Swiss
You have
Alps,
to reserve everything like almost a year in advance.
Oh.
Hostels and hotels and Airbnbs and stuff. So, yeah, definitely in the like planning wise, I did a lot of training, like bunch of Zone 2 stuff, and also like rucks, just in preparation for this. Like I have 40 pounds on my back for 10 days. Like I need to be a little bit capable.
Yeah. Dang, I've never actually spoken to someone that's backpacked, so that's pretty interesting. Let me check. Yeah, we're recording. Last time, for those of you who don't know, the audio was a little weird last time because we forgot to press record on the audio. But anyway, so the path that you take through the Swiss Alps, is that something that y'all like find online, like knowing exactly where to stay and what nights and stuff?
So we had on my watch right here, a little Garmin, every single route we were supposed to do, the day we were supposed to do it. It was all super planned out. And you were like Lauterbrunn to Wengen, it's 12 miles, and you know exactly where you're going to stay at the hotel. We had like a huge Google Drive or Google Doc full of everything. So yeah, it was all planned out.
Was this with family or friends? Or both?
Little brother.
Okay.
And dad.
Yeah.
Little boy's trip, but yeah.
That's sick. That's sick. All right. So yeah, I just wanted to find out about the Swiss Alps. That's pretty cool. So the Swiss Alps, would that be like, let's say you could retire today and live anywhere in the world? I mean, I haven't personally seen like pictures of the Swiss Alps, but I've heard a lot about it, like resorts and all that. Is that somewhere that you would be like, I want to live?
No, absolutely not. We went during the summer and it was 70 degrees, or 60 degrees during the summer, and it gets down to like 20.
Isn't 70 degrees a good thing during the summer?
Yeah, but it's not. It's only the summer for 3 months there.
Yeah, that's true. Would you prefer a Texas 100-degree summer, but
I don't know
like
about
60-degree winter?
Maybe like Florida.
Florida's
or
Florida's
Cali.
a good place.
Yeah.
All right. So now I kind of want to go ahead and segue over into rugby.
Okay. Yeah.
So you're on the team here.
No, not
this
year.
Like the club, or
not
last
this year? Yes.
Last year.
Yeah, last year I did rugby.
So tell me, how'd you get into rugby?
Long story short, basically my little brother was doing yoga with his rugby coach and like all the team or whatever, and I drove him and I was like, bruh, I don't want to drive back home, 30 minutes just to come back in 30 minutes because I had to take him.
Yeah.
And so I just did yoga, and he's like, yo, you should come play. And I was like, all right, bet. And then 4 days a week, forever, just been doing that. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, really enjoyed it.
And what year was this? You started late, right?
Yeah, junior year.
Junior year of high school.
Yeah.
So let's go through that path. Junior year of high school.
Yeah.
You started playing rugby.
Yeah.
Did you play on any like travel teams or anything by senior year, or even starting junior year? Or?
Just with the same club, box rugby.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe like 10 games, 13 games a season, and we ended up winning state championship junior year, and then state semifinals or whatever next year. But
That's awesome. That's awesome. So when you got here to Texas A&M, how was it like trying out for the team?
It was pretty chill. It's not like, oh, they're not going to let you come practice. It's more like I kind of want people to practice with, and it's kind of just whatever team you get placed on is like A and B team sort of deal.
Yeah. Which team were you on, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh yeah, I was on the B team.
Okay. Okay. I
Yeah.
I didn't know what our level of rugby team was. I didn't even really know we had one. But it's like a
Yeah.
club team, right? So
Yeah,
y'all
it's club.
travel and everything.
Yeah, there's like Colorado trip and a bunch of stuff. Like, I don't know.
What'd y'all do in Colorado?
Played rugby.
All right.
But yeah.
All right. So, as well as being, a rugby player and a person who loves hiking, you're also an engineer, right?
Yes.
You're a sophomore in engineering currently.
Yes.
So tell me, what has your experience been? Because you're the first engineer that I've brought on this podcast.
Okay.
Keep in mind this is our second episode, but first engineer, I guess, other than myself on this podcast. So tell me, what made you get into engineering? Because I feel like a lot of people I talk to don't know why they got into engineering. They just somehow ended up in it.
Okay.
So kind of tell
Yeah.
me the path from high school, and then we can go from there.
So it all started really young, maybe 10 or 11. I was always doing stuff. So when I was 12, I built a racing drone, like soldered everything, programmed the flight controller, super hella nerdy. Like, it was kind of ridiculous. Then I built computers, and then I just loved to like fix stuff. Like a doorknob's broken, like I'm gonna take it apart and fix it, break it, buy a new one, put it in, like a lot of stuff like that. And I just knew engineering was what I needed to do. I didn't want to, be a business major.
Here, try and speak a little
Yeah.
closer to the
Yeah, I
mic.
didn't want to be a business major.
Yeah.
I knew that wasn't for me. But yeah.
I
Kinda
feel,
just
I feel
happened.
like I feel like a lot of people. I mean, you probably have like one of the most like, I guess, drawn out backstories I've heard. Because a lot of my friends in engineering, I'm like, yeah. So when did you know you're gonna be an engineer? They're like, senior year of high school, something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
But yeah, I guess a lot of people also don't end up in engineering because they don't want to do business.
Yeah.
I think that's probably another big driver as well. So the fact that you brought that up was kind of funny. So your specific major, tell us a little about that.
Okay, so it's ISEN, or Industrial Systems Engineering. So a lot of this, really, really boring. You ready?
Yeah.
It's like optimizing systems for manufacturing, optimizing like the bottom lines for a lot of businesses. So I like to just tell people, like Amazon. So we're gonna get your package to you as fast as possible, as cheap as possible. We're gonna develop, the most efficient route with, algorithms and linear programming and whatnot. That's basically what it is. Like, yeah.
Okay.
It's pretty
And so I asked my previous guest this, but where do you see yourself in 5, 10, and 20 years? Like, what do you want to do with what you're studying right now?
So definitely in the automotive industry or aerospace industry. So that could be, factory line. How can we save this much material? How can we, not have, parts break down, or like machines break down that are building whatever.
Sounds like you
cool.
would be a perfect fit for Boeing.
We'll see.
I know they need a lot of help with.
Yeah, their quality control.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. So, you are very interested in stoicism, and we talked a little about it. And so, tell me what got you started on that journey.
All right. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
This is a big one. So, first day of junior year summer, my mom was diagnosed with cancer again. It's gonna get real dark. And this was stage 4 cancer everywhere. She was supposed to die. She's not dead. It's all good. But I really needed to find some way to accept this new reality that I was a part of. And stoicism's where I went.
Yeah.
With that.
That's
Yeah.
I will say stoicism really helps a lot, because
For sure.
it teaches you to not really focus on the things you can't control. I know Marcus Aurelius talks about that a lot. And for those of you who don't know, I'm gonna give y'all a little stoicism side story or history here. So Marcus Aurelius was basically the most powerful man in the world. He was the emperor of Rome, and with all the power in the world, he basically did nothing with it, and ended up becoming the greatest emperor because he didn't abuse like the power he had. and he was adopted into like the royal line and stuff. So he goes a lot into just controlling what you can and can't. Like there's one line, and I need to give you Meditations. Have you read that?
Yeah, I have it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. You do have
I have
it.
2 copies. One of them I annotated, the other one just like a pretty book.
I annotated my copy too,
Yeah.
but I remember one really stuck out to me was him like complaining about getting up in the morning, and
Yeah,
then
where
talking about how
yeah.
like the bees do it, the birds do it.
the ants and insects, they all have a purpose.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone gets up,
Yep.
even if they're tired and stuff. So he does too. There's another really beautiful one. He just writes beautifully.
Bro.
And I think the best part about this book, and I highly recommend for anyone listening to read it, is he didn't write it with the intention of anyone reading it.
Yeah, this is his private diary.
Yeah, it was his private diary
journal,
that somehow survived the fall of Rome. It was passed down and ended up being published. And it was just writing to himself. So it's real raw. It's not like he's not trying to cater to anyone. And so it really gives you an insight into the Emperor of Rome's life.
Yeah, and his thoughts and everything.
Yeah, the greatest, or in my opinion, I would say the greatest Emperor of Rome.
Mm-hmm.
Because the lack of him doing anything actually led to Rome being more prosperous by staying out of wars and stuff. One of the best things he actually did when he first got into power, and I know we're going into a history lesson here, but when he was crowned emperor or chosen as the successor, he was adopted into that family line, but there was another son who was the biological son of
who was supposed to go in his place.
Yeah, and the dad, instead of picking his biological son, picked Marcus.
Yeah.
And the first thing Marcus did was say, hey, he's my co-emperor, we're going to be co-emperors.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So instead of just having this entire power grab in which Marcus Aurelius would have to watch his back all the time, the first action he did as emperor was give up some of that power.
Yeah.
And really just got rid of his greatest enemy and made him like an ally. And although the other son didn't have success and the father probably picked right, because I think he ended up like losing wars and then dying or something. But no, I just think that part by Marcus Aurelius was pretty smart. Just, I don't know, there's a lot you can learn from Stoicism. And you don't have to answer this if you don't want to.
Okay.
But when you were in that dark place, like what from Stoicism like reached out to you?
You kind of hinted at it earlier, but kind of not worrying about what you can't control. So like, obviously I couldn't control her physical health. Like that was out of my control, and for me to let that affect me was that was going to destroy me, and for that to have an effect, like I really needed to not allow that to happen.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, for sure. I feel like I'm repeating myself again,
Yeah.
but it really does help. So recently you've been reading a book, or you put this down as your favorite book.
Yeah.
But How to Win Friends and Influence People.
Yes.
That book was actually recommended to me by my last guest as well. I have not really gotten. I know bits and pieces here and there. It's a Carnegie book, so I know about it. But tell me, what are some of the biggest takeaways from How to Win Friends and Influence People?
So there's one, I think it's probably like the second chapter. It's super early in, but it talks about basically getting people to do what you like, making people want to do something that you want them to do. So I think he uses some analogy like, attracting bees, not using vinegar, using honey or something like that.
Yeah.
So I use it probably daily. Like my roommate, I'm like, hey, I want the house to be clean. I'm like, you want the house to be clean too because we're gonna have people over. So like, mutual gain, not just like, yo, let's clean the house, bro. It's like I put it in a perspective that they can relate to and they want to clean the house, not just.
Yeah. So you make it worth it for them.
Yeah. I mean, that's what you need to do for anything. Like
that. Yeah. That's actually a pretty good. That's pretty good. I might have to use that on my roommate. Now that you say that. No, my roommate he keeps it clean.
That's good.
But
Yeah, usually we're pretty clean, but
yeah.
some days we're not. Like, tests.
I feel like that's everyone though.
Yeah.
Once you start getting like real busy, it's kind of hard.
Yeah.
Like Fridays, which is today. So we record on Fridays, or I do.
Mm-hmm.
I usually record throughout the week. We upload every Tuesday. But Fridays are usually like my recoup, prepare for the weekend type of days. That's like, since there's no school tomorrow or Sunday, I just clean up everything, take my mind off school for once, because when you're in an engineering major, it's just constant homework and
I say it's like putting out fires. Every single day I'm putting out a fire.
Yeah. It's a lot. And this semester, luckily, I've only had like 4 homework assignments among all my classes. I'm taking 14 hours, so I'm still.
Okay. Yeah.
But like, my first project was due yesterday. I have like, and I've had like 3 weeks to work on all the projects for all my classes. So like,
damn.
Yeah, that's why I've been able to record podcasts. Because this does take a lot of time. So now I'm gonna transition a little into, and we're just gonna go with the flow, because I don't have like a question sheet here or anything. I actually have a bunch of quotes that I do want to drop at some point. Tell me what got you into iron spikes.
Okay. Really, really easy. Basically, I just felt like, maybe like a weekend, it'd be like Friday night, I'm like, shit, like, what am I gonna do? Like, I got my roommate, I got a few friends, but what am I actually gonna do on this weekend? So, iron spikes, I figured out, it's just like, you can just text anyone, and then you can go do something. You go hang out with some boys. Like, we got our little rookie group chat, and it's just, yo, we're doing this, we're doing that, da-da-da, and you can just tag along kind of with that, and it's really easy friends.
Yeah,
like, I
for sure.
I didn't have to, like, I have to go hustle for some friends. It's just like...
Yeah, because y'all are all there for the same reason, same stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of y'all are, like, sharing hobbies. Like,
yeah.
Iron Spikes, we actually have, like, a lot of engineers, right?
Yes.
Like Korey's an engineer, I'm an engineer. Probably about 25% engineers, which is a high percentage for, like, a Texas A&M men's org, unless it's, like, an engineering men's org. But, we wouldn't... I personally wouldn't want to join a engineering men's org, but Iron Spikes was like a great medium. We're baseball oriented org and stuff, so it's been fun. And yesterday I actually I had the pleasure of coaching the rookie basketball team, which he is on. So as someone who's never played basketball before, tell me about your experience.
So honestly, I don't look like I don't know how to play basketball. I'm 6'4", whatever. They think I can do everything. I can jump pretty high, but I don't think I can dunk. It was really rough. Honestly, I learned a lot. I fouled out. So
yeah, he did. He fouled out in the third quarter, was it?
I think it was the end of the fourth.
The end of the fourth?
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
Well, yeah.
But I sat out the whole third quarter.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because I got 4, and they're like, all right, bro, get out.
That was, I'm not gonna lie, that game was funny. So I was coaching the first half, and then I ended up suiting up and going in the second half. I wasn't much help. We still got smacked. But what'd you think of me as a coach in that first half?
Honestly, you were very professional. You showed up in a full polo, button up, suit pants.
Belt, suit pants.
Yeah. The
glasses.
whole yards. Yes. I don't know what the glasses do, but yeah, you had them on.
They're blue light, so they're not prescription. But I just thought they would fit the part,
Yeah, fair enough. I thought you did pretty good. Considering no one played basketball.
Yeah.
Like, I think there's like 2 guys who played in high school, and they sucked.
Yeah. One of my friends, Josh. He was one of them. But I also felt bad because he didn't know what to do either. We'll get some team practices going. Don't worry, I'll coach these boys up, and maybe we'll have a podcast episode at the end of the season with the whole team. See how that goes. Definitely a lot of things. A lot of things to work on, but it was pretty fun.
Yeah, I didn't really know what a foul was, and I don't know. And this is not an excuse, but to go from rugby to basketball, like I don't.
It's a big transition.
I don't know. I was too rough.
When you started jumping for rebounds, I realized that it was a big transition. No, there's just like basketball is very like it's not just the skill. There's a lot of
Yeah.
like basketball sense you have to have. Like I guess you could call it basketball IQ, but just like knowing where to be at what times and stuff. Because it's a very
Yeah.
like fast-paced game,
Yeah.
so a lot of it you can't even think about. You have to like have it in the back of your mind. And basketball, and actually I want to get into something like this. I'm about to talk about like sports and how they reflect on
Yeah.
education and stuff. Because while we're on the top of basketball, I've been talking to like my mom and grandma a lot, and like even though I never played like beyond high school, I'm very thankful that I did play because a lot of the stuff like here's a good example. So when I have to present, like whether it be for my internship or I know I have to perform well, right? Because presentation's also a performance,
Yeah,
like a sports event would be. It's like I get into that same mode that I would like before a basketball game.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know
I know what you're saying, like
if
that.
you've had anything like that in academics that relates to rugby.
Okay.
Like you get your mind in that place. Like, oh, I got to go on, put on a show or something like that.
Yeah, like finals. Like
Yeah.
before any final, it's just like get my little lo-fi on. You know what I'm saying?
You listen to lo-fi before rugby games?
Yeah.
Really?
Like calm, just
Lo-fi. Oh, that's interesting.
yeah. Just like slow everything down. I got like look at my little heart rate. Just get everything as slow as possible. And think about like kind of premeditate what I know is gonna happen. Like I'm gonna walk in the room. I'm gonna sit down. I'm gonna have my pencil. Can you hear me? Yeah.
No, you get a little closer.
A little closer. All right.
Yeah, that's
Like
good.
I have everything planned out exactly. Like all right, I'm gonna take this test, give it my all. Same with rugby. I'm gonna go get out there. I know where I need to be. Who am I with? Et cetera, et cetera. Like it's all like premeditated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you're the first person I've met who before a game like to get hyped for a game, or I guess not get hyped, get calm.
Bro, it's like
Listen to lo-fi.
it's like fake. Like if you're gonna listen to some hype music, it's fake hype. Like it's not real. It's just like it. I don't think it's real. It's just fake.
Yeah, that's valid. I mean,
Like just loud music.
did you? I'm gonna kind of go into my sports routine, but first I want to ask: did you have a like weird or special routine going into your games, other than lo-fi music? Of
Yeah,
course.
honey.
Honey.
Yeah, just a bunch of honey, a bunch of carbs.
Okay.
There's this stuff called cluster dextrin. It's just like corn carb, and you just put it in water. So just carb up all the way. Obviously stretching. Nothing really weird. Maybe I guess the lo-fi is kind of weird.
Yeah, I mean, when you hear my routine, you're gonna think I'm crazy.
Oh, okay. Oh no.
So, when my first year of basketball, freshman year, I didn't really play too good, and one thing that I had heard a lot of was like just because I was a huge Kobe fan, and one thing he always preached was having a routine, like even if it was weird, just having a routine for your game days.
Yeah.
So, I remember hearing a story about Jason Terry. I don't expect you to know who Jason Terry is. He was a Mavericks basketball player, and his routine was he would wear the shorts of the opposing team the night before, or like the jerseys of the players he was about to guard. So if he was going to guard LeBron, he would go to bed in a LeBron jersey. If he was going to guard, I don't know, just some other player,
Okay,
but he would go to bed in their jersey, and he would have good games. Like his teammates were talking about it, and I know there's a bunch of like professional athletes that just have weird like routines. So one thing I developed my sophomore year, and I mean I also trained a lot, so I got better. But this helped me like consistently play like up to par. Was I had a very interesting routine. It actually started the day before. So 24 hours before the game, I could only eat vegan. Vegan. So I can't eat any meat. So for usually I'd have like a lunch, like some salad or something, and it's just like lettuce and tomatoes and cucumbers. And then for dinner, when I'd get home, my dad would bake potatoes and squash, and I would eat that. So it was almost like a form of carb loading, but I didn't even know I was carb loading.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'd have like this huge bowl of potatoes squash. It was so good. Um, but yeah, so my routine starts the day before. Wake up, and then make my bed. I never make my bed. Well, back in high school, I still kind of don't, but I make it every now and then. But
I was about to say something, but mine's not even made right now.
yeah, mine's not made
Yeah.
either. But so wake up. Actually, I'd start the day with prayer. Prayer, make my
Solid,
bed.
Yeah.
Once this is gonna get weird. Once so for that day, I could only listen to one album of music. I can't listen to any other music. So, you know the album With the Box by Roddy Ricch?
Yeah.
That's the only album I could listen to before any game. And I did that the entire season. So if I wanted to listen to another song, I couldn't. Then, during my sports management class, I had to watch Russell Westbrook highlights. I had to watch it at some point in my day before the game. Yeah, it's I told you, it's kind of like, but I made sure, like, I had a checklist. Like, I'm making sure I'm hitting all these things. So watch Westbrook highlights during the day.
Become Wessel.
Yeah, it was like, it was a ritual, man. It was a spiritual ritual almost.
Okay.
It was a religious experience just going through my routine. But yeah, so watch the Westbrook highlights. Still eating vegan. So at this point, I'm like dying to have like.
You want some meat?
Yeah, pause. No Diddy. But I wanted meat, right? At some. Actually, I'm going to a date party tonight, and the shirt I'm wearing says "There's nothing like a Diddy party." I'm so serious right now.
Around a bunch of women?
Yes. You don't have to comment.
Yeah. No comment.
No comment. It's been approved though.
Really?
Yeah, by the date she approved it.
What's the theme?
Neon. And it's a black shirt, and then in like, I don't have any pieces of neon clothing, but and it's like in neon letters it just says "There's nothing like a Diddy party." And
all right, moving on.
Yeah, moving on. So back to the routine. So after Westbrook highlights, after eating vegan, if it was a home game, we would have like after school we would have about an hour or two before. So I would make sure to get home and take some kind of nap, whether it be 10 minutes, 30 minutes, had to get a nap in. And if it was an away game, I wouldn't take a nap. I would go to the basketball court and shoot around and just sitting there by myself because no one else would go in there. And I had like this very heavy street ball basketball shooting indoors. I know you won't understand it, but others are going to be like, what are you doing, man? But yeah, also my sophomore year, I had a backpack that had like a net for basketball. So I would walk around school with basketball in my bag. I was devoted.
What, you're like in class like?
I would be feeling it throughout the day, yeah. Yeah. No, I just I remember listening to Gilbert Arenas' podcast like all that summer.
Okay.
And I trained a lot that summer. Dude, it's tough when you're like short, chubby white kid, man. It's hard hooping, so
you gotta shoot.
I had to put in some extra work. But I remember listening to his podcast, and he was talking about like during high school he'd just get up at 4 a.m. and just walk down the street and dribble.
Damn.
Yeah, it's like a different level. So I was like, I might as well just bring a ball. Like, people will laugh at me, but you know, I thought I was gonna make the NBA at that point. So, but yeah. So continuing, the nap and the pregame shoot was pretty much like the last two things before the game. And when the days I checked all of those off, I would have really good games. And the days when the more checks that were left missing on that sheet, the worst game I would have. So it was either like a subconscious thing, or maybe, and this is preached a lot in Stoicism. Maybe I was like practicing it without like practicing it, but
Yeah.
getting like those small incremental wins. You know what I mean? Like making your bed is a win in the morning. So just getting those small wins can kind of like lead momentum, and that really helped me in my and I took basketball really seriously, but that really helped me in my whole high school basketball career. And then I don't have any more weird routines before like a podcast episode or
Oh yeah.
presentation or something. Uh, but I do still get like that basketball like rush, and that's why I was asking you about the rugby stuff, because I didn't know if it was just me, but like before I go, I remember my internship. Before I went to go present, I was like outside, like sitting down.
Dribbling.
Nah, not dribbling, not dribbling. But listening to some music, I was locked in. I was locked because it was a huge auditorium,
Yeah.
like 40, 50 people coming in, VPs and stuff, and so I was like, I had jokes lined up, and like if
Did they hit?
so I did two presentations.
Okay.
The first presentation, I was like Chris Rock.
Okay.
You know who?
Yeah.
The comedian. Like
Yeah.
it was hitting. I was like
Okay,
Shane
yeah.
Gillis, right? Like I'm throwing jokes out here left and right. Uh, Everyone was laughing. That second day, yeah, you can press it if you want. So the first day was only like 20 people.
Okay.
It was like
Yeah.
half of them were interns, the other half were just people that were like kind of friends with me and I invited. The second presentation was like people had notepads, people had notebooks. It was in a much bigger room, and like the size of this back wall was probably like twice the size was the screen, and I would have to like walk back and forth. So the heat was on, man, and the jokes did not fall. I remember I had to present like not only about my projects but my internship experience, and one of one of my jokes was they at the place I worked, they had a whole like full court basketball court with adjustable hoops, like down to the centimeter if you wanted to.
Mhm.
And so I put the goal on like 9 foot, 9.5. And I recorded a video of me dunking, but I like screenshotted like me mid dunk. And so I was telling everyone like, yo, I met LeBron James at work. I also got a picture of him. And so the first day that joke landed, everyone's like laughing. I was like, oh, I'm doing good. Second day, like with all the VPs and stuff, when I was like setting up the joke, because I'm like,
Yeah.
and also part of my internship, I actually got to meet LeBron. People were like asking, we're like, babe, we had LeBron here, we had LeBron,
Yeah.
and then it's a picture of me, and no one seemed to get the joke, and
Damn.
yeah, it was. It was definitely an experience, and so
It's just like next slide.
yeah,
It's just-
next slide. I was like, I read the room I real quick. I was like, all right, next slide, and I think I might have gotten like one giggle, like maybe from my mentor. He might have felt bad or something.
Damn.
But rest of the presentation went well. Got the reoffer, and so that was pretty good. So while we're on the topic of internships, tell me. So I don't know if you can talk about this or not. You don't have to disclose the company, but
Okay.
you recently just had an interview.
Yes.
How did that go? Because I still haven't
Yeah.
been able to ask you about that.
So, I think it was more like a behavioral, like, yo, you chill, basically. And I was just talking to the lady about like what all I wanted to do for the company, basic interview questions, and I think it went okay. I mean, just threw on my little suit. She was like, in her chair like this.
Wait. The suit, was it a virtual meeting?
Yeah, it
or
was virtual. And so,
You threw on a suit for a real.
oh,
I mean,
of course.
that's respect. That's respect.
Yeah.
I remember I think I had a polo for mine, so
Okay.
I might have been good.
Yeah.
But mine was like right in between two classes. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, but so how did it go? Do you think?
I think it went well. We were just talking about like what all I can actually do for them, like internship wise, and she's like, yeah, we'll do another interview or whatever with the guy who would be my boss.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's good.
I think
That's
that's
good to hear.
Yeah.
That.
Yeah.
I'm happy to hear that.
Yeah.
So, if you don't mind me asking, if you do remember, because some of the people that listen to our podcasts are also trying to land an internship or going through interviews for internships and stuff, and so if you remember, what were 2 questions that you were asked, and what were like the responses you kind of gave?
One of them was, why are you doing this? Like, why are you in industrial engineering at A&M? I think kind of talked about that earlier, but that was really easy. Like, I just like fixing things, making them as good as they can be, optimization, whatever. I it was a little bit cool whenever I said it then.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to think what else. She said, I don't even know. I was just like rolling with the punches. Like I'm trying to like remember a specific question.
If you can't, I'll throw in one that I remember from mine, and I remember one because mine was kind of behavioral too, which is like, and that was I only had one.
Oh.
Yeah, it was with the main guy, and he was just like, yeah, I like you, we'll hire you, which is very unusual for computer science ones because usually they have you like code and stuff.
Oh.
But I didn't write a single line of code for any of them. Like, they liked me from the behavioral one so much that I just got... Yeah, it was pretty crazy. But I remember one of the questions I was asked, and this is to help y'all who are trying to land an internship, was it was like if 2 people in your team got into an argument, how would you like solve that, right?
Rock, paper, scissors.
That's a great answer. Actually, I don't know how much recruiters would like that, but
we would make a pros and cons list of each side of the argument and debate civilly.
Yeah, I think I answered along the lines of, first I would understand where both people are coming from. So like, just talk to the person and say, okay, why are you feeling this way? Talk to the other person, and then come to kind of like, not even a pros and cons list, but just a way to satisfy both while getting the main goal at hand done. I think I said something like that. But for the behavioral part, guys, I mean, be yourself, because obviously you don't want to act like someone you're not. That's pretty unethical.
Yeah.
And you may not like the job you get picked for because of that, So when it comes to interviews for internships or jobs or stuff, just really be yourself, because you want to see if you're a fit for that company, not just because it's a company trying to find you.
Yeah.
But like me personally, whenever there's behavioral questions, I'm a guy that gets to or likes to understand all parties first before doing anything. And not to give any advice. So I'm just saying, if this is y'all, take this as advice. But if you are that kind of person, just land on those, like being the liaison. Is that the proper use of the word right now?
Bro, I don't know.
But
like a neutral party.
Yeah, being that neutral party, because that's pretty. The interviewers love to hear stuff like that.
Yeah.
All right. So I want to ask you. So I kind of went off this path earlier about like where you see yourself 5, 10, 20 years. Do you see yourself being a business owner at any point in time?
Ideally, yes. I think that's like the max level of like achievement. Like being your own business owner, running everything, having a bit more control. But I don't know. Like I would need like a niche that I can insert myself in, and I don't know what that is.
Stoicism.
I don't know what that is yet, but yeah, I feel like I'm pretty good with people. I think I'm pretty decent with money. Like I'm not an idiot.
Yeah.
But yeah.
What I will say is one quote, and I'll probably like mess this up a little bit. It's not on my sheet right now.
Okay.
But Steve Jobs said this, and it's like, when you start a company, you have to go from like a specialist to a generalist. So you basically get removed from the work that you're used to doing. So.
Yeah, and you have to outsource it, like.
Yeah, but you have to understand everything, but at the same time, like, not be too involved in one thing. Because one thing I've also heard that a lot of founders have problems with for business and such is they really like one role, right? Like if I'm a software developer.
Yeah, you can code all day.
Yeah, I can code all day, but am I the best person for that? Is that the best use of my time? Right? Maybe not.
Yeah.
Probably not. Right? There was I want to say it was Chris Williamson actually.
Okay.
I think. It was him or Alex Hormozy. I was listening. Or no. It was a guest Chris Williamson had on the Modern Wisdom.
Yeah.
And basically this guy was doing like a tour, and he was like an entrepreneur, found multi-million-dollar businesses, right? And they go up and like speak and stuff, and the one show he gets sick for and doesn't speak, they had the best ratings ever. And so he was talking about, he's like, that one burned, but he like realized that he wasn't the best person for that role.
Yeah.
And
it takes a lot to look at it from a numerical or like the exact output was this because I wasn't there.
Yeah.
And then to change roles and pivot on that.
I mean, that would hurt. That would really hurt. But I think that's like probably one of the best skills you can have is knowing what's best versus knowing what you want, right?
Yeah. So that's
unless
I like a realist. Is what you're saying, like.
Yeah. I get. Well, I guess it all just depends like what your goal is, and then because if you really just love to code and don't even care how the company grows, I guess you can code. But if your like main goal is to grow that business and stuff, just realizing like you may be the best person for that role, you know, you may be that guy.
Yeah.
But if you're not, the later you realize it, the more you'll realize that you've been wasting a lot of time.
Yeah, like the missed gain on that.
Yeah. But yeah. Other than that, let me see what I can dig up. So lifting.
Yeah. What about?
Do you bring a journal? Do you write everything down or
no?
Or how do you go about it?
So I got my little watch. I clicked strength and I've got reps and how much I'm lifting, and then it'll automatically detect. Like if I do this motion, it knows I'm doing a press. It doesn't know if it's a bench press or if it's like push-ups. It can't really differentiate on that, but it knows pull-ups. It knows like all the basic stuff that I do. So I just throw it into my little Garmin watch.
Yeah, those are pretty handy.
Yeah, dude.
I've never had like a smartwatch or honestly, I mean I've had watches, but it's like the old-fashioned.
No.
I don't even know how to read the time old-fashioned. But
yeah, me either.
But yeah, and one last thing before we kind of wrap up, what's ramps? So that's an extracurricular you're part of.
Yeah.
And so talk to me about that.
That it's not very much commitment, but basically, I think 3 or 4 Saturdays, we go out as a team to someone's house who's recently disabled or needs a ramp to get in and out of the house, and we design and build in a few hours a ramp so they can get in and out of their house and
that's awesome.
Improve their quality of life.
That's actually really awesome.
Yeah.
I'm really glad I actually asked that question.
Yeah, and that's stuff I like to do. I've got all the drill tools you could imagine.
Yeah.
And that's just stuff I like to do for fun.
Are you just a personal question, are you planning on doing Big Brothers Big Sisters this semester or?
I need to get a car. That's kind of I'm super interested in that. I actually did something pretty similar in high school. It was called FACS and Family and Community Service, whatever. But basically for a whole class period, 2 times a week, I would go to a elementary school for one of them and then middle school for the other one.
Yeah.
And I'd just like play chess with this kid. Like listen.
Are you a good chess player?
Hell no. But I could beat a 10-year-old.
Yeah, I mean that's fair.
But like just to kind of be like a person in their life when they needed someone real was super fun.
No, it
Yeah.
is. It is. I'm planning to do it
Oh yeah.
this semester. Yeah, I'm actually really excited.
Yeah,
I
that's
had
awesome.
work last semester
Uh-huh.
because I signed up, but they like when they had the training, I had work, and so I was like, I was also taking like 17 hours and involved in a bunch of other things, but
Yeah.
I don't know. This semester is looking like it's kind of a lot lighter, and
Yeah.
especially with the workload.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I don't know what I'm gonna do with my little yet. I kind of want to take him go kickboxing.
Just train him. Have you seen
Yeah,
that?
I know. I need to train me a Robin. So when I become
Yeah.
Batman, I have me a little Robin.
Have you seen that? It's like a meme, and it's um like a huge book of like basketball training, or whatever. He's like, he finds out he has a girl as a daughter, and he like throws away the LeBron training kit.
I don't know if I've seen that one, but that seems pretty relatable, especially
Yeah.
for LeBron fans.
Yeah.
I'm not a big LeBron fan though.
I don't know.
You don't care for basketball, do you?
No, I mean, I didn't even know what a foul was.
That is true. That is true. No, but yeah, I don't know. Kickboxing, maybe take him go play golf or something.
Golf.
I don't know.
You
We
golf?
got
I didn't know
like
you
Top Golf.
You golf?
Nah, but it's fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's fun. But yeah, all right. I have two last questions
Okay.
because I think I'm gonna try and ask all of my guests these
The
kind
same.
of to wrap up. So the first one is, you're currently on How to Win Friends and Influence People, right?
Sure. Yeah.
So what's the next book you're looking at?
Neil deGrasse Tyson. I don't know the actual name of it, the full name, but it's looking at Earth and society from a outside point of view, so like a celestial view. So it's like looking in, like one of the things that I was like,
Like
kinda
we're a
interesting.
small speck in the universe kind of book, or?
That, but also like what we actually do as a society. Like, so one of the examples is we don't eat dolphins, but we eat all the other animals in the sea. Like why do we do that? It's just another animal, right? So like some people say, oh, it's an intelligent being.
Well,
Da, da, da,
octopus
da.
is pretty
Yeah.
intelligent too.
Yeah, I love calamari.
I know a lot of people that are against eating octopus.
It's really good.
It is pretty good, but
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like I didn't know how smart they were until I've like just started watching like a couple videos here and there on YouTube, and it's like you'll see them like blend in.
Yeah.
And stuff. Like they creep up on their prey.
Or they got like a Rubik's cube, like.
I haven't seen. Can octopus
No,
solve Rubik's
I'm
cubes?
just kidding.
You had me intrigued. I was like, yo, I'm about to go look this up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's interesting.
It's like a celestial view of Earth or something like that. It's one of his newer books.
Mhm.
But yeah.
I don't think I've heard of that one, but I also haven't heard of any Neil deGrasse Tyson book. So that's a first. And then this is the question I'm going to try and wrap up with all my guests starting this podcast.
Okay.
And I think this is a great like note to leave off on. But what is your purpose?
Damn.
You could take some time to think if you need to, but I don't know. I've been like thinking about this a lot, like just with myself, like what is my purpose? Why am I here? And obviously purpose can change. Like
Yeah.
like mine probably changes monthly, but I guess like asking someone's a good way to see where they're at or where they're going.
Yeah.
So
I think right now, obviously it's graduate high school, or sorry, college. But improve production and manufacturing, I guess EV vehicles, but I don't know. We'll see about that. I think definitely improve transportation and efficiency of a society. So super large scale, but like trains and buses everywhere. That is way better than everyone being in traffic on Texas.
That's true.
You know.
That's true. I will say, I like when I go to the cities on the East Coast, I do enjoy the public transportation. Although New York subways are not as fun, but
Like Japan, bro, is insane. You could go on a train from tip to tail of the entire
It's illegal here, right? Or
What?
well, I thought there's like a reason why the U.S. doesn't have any like supersonic
It's
trains or
I
whatever,
don't know, it's
bullet trains.
probably just oil companies lobbying. Not
Yeah.
gonna lie.
Well, you know why Houston was built the way it is. Have you? You're not from Houston, are you?
No, no, no. San Antonio.
Yeah, San Antonio. Have you ever been to Houston?
Yeah, like once or twice.
So as a big city, Houston's pretty unwalkable. And I mean, like the small condensed area is pretty walkable, but Houston's huge. Like it's like you have to drive like 10, 15 minutes between places in it. And I learned this recently, but the reason why like Houston is set up the way it is, and I'm sure other cities are like this, but the motor industry, like cars and stuff, when these cities were starting to develop, were very pushy on we need to build like big roads between
Yeah.
like buildings and stuff. And so now it's like you see like that grid structure almost, and it's not really built for walking, it's built for cars because it's like here's a building, here's a street, here's a building, here's a street, here's a building. So just to go four buildings down, you have to cross
Four
blocks,
Yeah,
yeah,
three
four
intersections. Or
intersections.
whatever,
Exactly. So Houston's like known for not being a very walkable city, and one of the reasons, and I learned this like probably like a year ago or something, is when those getting built, it was just being lobbied for, really heavy in the car industry. They're like,
Yeah.
let's build roads, and that's also why they're known for their superhighways. I think that's the reason, but. Yeah, that's pretty interesting. Well, Korey, thank you for
Yeah.
joining me today.
Pleasure.
It was a pleasure having you. Learned a lot, so that's awesome. And yeah, thank you all for joining us on the second episode of DMac Pods.